Okay. First item is to open the public hearing to consider a local law that imposes a moratorium on development in I-1 districts. Do we have a motion? Do we have a second?
Second.
All in favor, raise your hand. Any opposed? None. Public hearing is now open. I did that specifically, Jason, I did that just so that way I could see if there was somebody who was opposed. I think that happened a meeting or two ago, so. Anyways, it was unanimous. Public hearing's open. Do we have anybody signed up? Anybody wishing to speak? Anybody from the board that would like to comment during the public hearing? Seeing none, do we have a motion to close the public hearing? Do we have a second?
Second.
All in favor, raise your hand. Unanimous. Closed. Do we have any discussion on this local law today? Do we have a motion to pass this local law today?
Before we do that, we just have to make a motion to designate this as a type 2 action for seeker purposes. We don't actually have to make a seeker determination, but we do have to designate it as type 2.
That's fine.
I'll make a motion to designate type 2 for seeker.
Okay. Do we have a second to designate this as a type 2?
Second.
All in favor, raise your hand. It is unanimously designated as type 2. We do not have to go through the short form though? Okay. So we're prepared to vote on this then, Joe?
Yep, you are.
Okay.
So just a quick, obviously, this is because we have the comprehensive plan, it's something that kind of goes into that, making sure that, obviously, with the comprehensive plan going on, we're looking into zoning and different things like that. So this is a good reason as to why to put a moratorium on this, to make sure that with the future for the residents and what they want, through the comprehensive plan, this is just a piece of that, to make sure that this doesn't get lost in the mud with that.
Spot on. This is a 6-month moratorium. It can be extended after 6 months if need be, but you're precisely correct. It's to allow us to make sure that the zoning and comprehensive plan are completed, so that way things don't occur right now that we may not wish to occur with what the future of the town may look like after the comprehensive plan and rezoning. To that, do we have a motion?
Motion.
Do we have a second?
Second.
Clerk, please call the roll.
Counselor Jones? Aye. Counselor Paul?
Yes.
Counselor Cicerone?
Yes.
Counselor Carney?
Yes.
Supervisor Farrell?
Yes. Next, do we have a motion to open a public hearing to consider a local law to override the tax cap for 2025?
Motion.
Do we have a second?
Second.
All in favor, raise your hand. It is unanimously open. Do we have anybody sign up to speak? Is there anybody wishing to speak on this? Is there any town board comments on this during the public hearing?
Standard, we do it every year.
It is. It is forced upon us by New York State. Do we have a motion to close the public hearing?
Motion.
Do we have a second?
Second.
All in favor with hand raised? All right, unanimously. Do we want to pass this today? I think we should. I mean, what's the point? No. Do we have a motion to pass the local law to override the tax cap for 2025?
Motion.
Do we have a second?
Second.
Clerk, please call the roll.
Counselor Jones? Aye. Counselor Paul?
Yes.
Counselor Cicerone?
Yes.
Counselor Carney?
Yes.
Supervisor Farrell?
I have precedent of always voting no. I think besides once when I had to. So I am going to vote no based on principle. Do we have any residents signed up wishing to speak? Any town board comments? First ward.
Thank you all. Save that day, October 26th for our first trunk or treat. We're going to do it as a board at Hyde's. So we're thinking all of a theme that you all want to do.
Oh, we get to do a theme.
Oh, yes. Yeah. We're going to set the bar high.
I like that. I like that a lot. Okay. Anything else?
Nope, that's it.
Second ward.
Okay, I met with Tom Cardinal in the assessor's office, and we are gonna be doing some mini workshops starting in mid-October. People will call the assessors, we're gonna go to different groups to give information about it, so that information will be coming out shortly to the groups, and if not, we'll be spreading it. And I just wanna thank, people that came to the announcement for the pool at Electronics Park and Camp Hunter for the press grant.
Great work with the assessor's office. Obviously, you and Tom both spoke to me about it. I think that is commendable. It's a big lift. So I'll also wish you good luck as well. Third ward.
Yes, so to kind of piggyback off that. So to give some background for residents on the agenda item that will be coming up this evening. Council will approach the town board to apply for a grant to help with repair costs for the Electronics Park pool. Through her amazing efforts to turn information over in record time to our grant writer, the town board was willing to apply for the grant. Unfortunately, we were denied the swings grant earlier this month. Our application was deemed ineligible to advance because our town's needs did not meet the minimum score. Being that we have operational pools in the town, I'm to assume this had something to do with our road needs score. This past week, a CREST grant was awarded to the town, and that's the agenda item that I'm speaking of. Great work on Councilor Paul again to go outside the box and secure a grant for this project after being denied. However, I would expect someone who speaks so highly of transparency to share this with the rest of the town board in advance. I was completely unaware of this grant until I saw it on our agenda for tonight's meeting. So Councilor Paul, here are my questions to you to be answered later on. How does the process work for the CREST grant? Does the town have to put the money up front? Do we only have to pay a percentage? Is this a grant that can only be used for pools, or is there something else the town board could have collectively advocated for this money to be used on? As you know, I have been an advocate for splash pads, as this provides more opportunities for people of all ages and those with disabilities, while also reducing costs over time. Based on my understanding of the grants that we have used previously, this would be approved in 2025, awarded in 2026, and if we started repairs in 2026, the pool wouldn't be open until 2027. That's 3 more years that residents would have to go without this pool. I spoke with our Parks Department to get more history of repairs that have already been done on this pool. The pool at Electronics Park is 50 plus years old. In total, we have already spent more than $200,000 just on this one pool for its extensive repairs. Some of these repairs include leaks, piping, etc. At one time, they had to cut out part of this pool and weld it back into place. It is not yet known where the current leak is coming from, so if it ends up being in a location that's under walkways, we would have to pay for the cost of removing and replacing all of the cement on top of the other pool repairs. Also to mention, these leaks can cause other structural issues we may not be aware of. There is much more involved than what we are seeing on the surface of this pool. The estimate we originally received when applying for the SWIMS grant read, leak repair costs cannot be accurately quoted until the repair is well underway, and there could be some unexpected cost once excavation begins. Based off that, we could be into this repair for much more than $198,000. Just to be on the safe side, I would say we would need to budget at least an additional $100,000 minimum to be prepared for unexpected costs. We also have to add additional funds into our grant line to make sure our grant facilitator can perform the necessary work for this grant on top of several other projects we currently have going on. Being that this can be a 3-year ordeal that is not in our town's 5-year plan, we don't know for sure how much this entire project is going to cost until it is started, and cannot accurately budget for it right now. I would hope that Councilor Paul will consider a motion to table accepting this grant until after our 2025 budget sessions that start next week, to see if this project is even feasible at this time. So on that note, our budget sessions are scheduled for October 1st, 3rd, and 8th, starting at 5 o'clock p.m. at Town Hall, and these are open to the public. In other news, the 3rd Ward community meetings, the last 2 for this year, are set for September 30th and October 7th, 6:30 p.m. at the Manado Fire Department. Thank you.
4th Ward.
Move this time.
This is not anything that needs to get voted on. It is on the agenda. I just want to touch on it quickly. The tentative budget has been handed to the town board. We do have budget meetings that are coming up. All the budget meetings should be posted on our website. If they are not posted on our website, call my office and talk to Jody and let her know that they're not posted on the website. She will make sure they get posted, but I believe that they are all posted on the website. Every one of our budget meetings are open to the public and is available to be attended by the public as well. With that, I don't have anything to say. Looking forward to the trunk or treat. Great idea, by the way. Do we have a motion to approve the September 9th, 2024 minutes?
Motion.
Do we have a second?
Second.
Seconded, all in favor? It's unanimously passed. Town engineer, we have this change order for the community center submitted by S.J. Thomas. As stated, I think I said it at the last board meeting. I know I communicated it with every board member. This is the last change order for the continuation of the removal and fill for the materials that were found underneath the ground at the community center. This is something that we are intending on trying to find a remedy for with the previous contract that was handed out, in order for us to, prepare the site for building the community center. So again, this is a little unexpected because we thought we had already paid for the removal of this stuff in the first contract. But again, we're hoping for that remedy. In the meantime, this should be the last change order that came through. They said on Friday as well that this was the last change order as well, correct, Jason?
That's correct.
So, with that, do we have a motion to authorize a change order for the community center?
Make the motion.
Do we have a second?
Second.
Clerk, please call the roll.
Counselor Jones?
Aye.
Counselor Paul?
Yes.
Counselor Cicero?
Yes.
Counselor Carney?
Yes.
Supervisor Graham?
Yes. I, just off topic, really quickly, some of the comments that the third ward counselor made, the item is on the agenda later, so that's kind of why we're not talking about it right now. I'm obviously expecting a conversation, when we get to that agenda item. So I just, for the public's sake and for the board members' sake, that's kind of why we're moving forward. We need to do a secret determination related to Bear Trap Creek.
Yeah, this is related to the improvements. This came at Jason's urging. So
Is this the, okay.
It's for the community development project at Bear Trap.
So we were awarded a community development block grant, for Bear Trap Creek, Trail, which if you are on 81, it's directly behind the clear sound barriers that are going up currently, that I hope they put a cap on, and it sounds like they will be doing routine maintenance and cleaning on in the future as well. I talked about that with them. But anyways, that trail behind there is getting some workout equipment and beautification done to it, as well as new signage and trailheads. This was something that was in our 5-year plan. I think it's a great thing. I spent a little bit of time in Pittsburgh, and all the trails there had kind of workout stations at various points along the trail, so I think it's a great addition to it. So, good news, if I haven't announced it already, we did get awarded the grant for this. It's a project that we plan and intend on doing next year. So, we have to do the secret now for it?
we do, yes. So,
Fire away, Joe.
does anyone at this time want to make a motion designating the town of Salina town board as lead agency for purposes of State Environmental Quality Review Act, and also designating this as an unlisted action? If you want to make that motion.
Make that motion.
Second?
Second.
All in favor? Any opposed? I'm gonna read through a series of questions. If I don't hear an answer to the question, I'll assume the answer is no or small impact. Will the proposed action create a material conflict with an adopted land use plan or zoning regulation? Will the proposed action result in a change in the use or intensity of use of land? Will the proposed action impair the character or quality of the existing community? Will the proposed action have an impact on the environmental characteristics that cause the establishment of a critical environmental area? Will the proposed action result in an adverse change in the existing level of traffic or affect existing infrastructure for mass transit, biking, or walkway? Will the proposed action cause an increase in the use of energy and fail to incorporate reasonable energy conservation or renewable energy opportunities? Will the proposed action impact existing public-private water supplies, public-private wastewater treatment utilities? Will the proposed action impair the character or quality of important historic, archaeological, architectural, or aesthetic resources? Will the proposed action result in an adverse change in natural resources? Will the proposed action result in an increase in potential for erosion, flooding, or drainage problems? Will the proposed action create a hazard to environmental resources or human health? Based upon the answers given, does anyone at this time want to make a motion finding no significant impact for purposes of State Environmental Quality Review Act?
Make that motion.
Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Any opposed?
Thank you, Joe. The next one is a resolution that sets the public hearing to consider entering into a contract with Liverpool Fire Department for providing fire protection within the Liverpool Fire Protection District for the year of 2025. This is also to consider their proposed budget, correct?
Yeah, that is correct. That is, but we do have to have a public hearing and
Yeah.
make
So
sure
this is to set the public hearing for that.
for the contract, yeah.
If you want to see what the contract looks like as submitted by them, it should be posted on our website under you.
It's not posted yet because it's proposed, but I will include it in the packets, but I can.
Yeah, so when we set the public hearing, we'll have that posted so that way obviously the public can see it before the public hearing. Perfect. All right, do we have a motion to set this public hearing?
So we're gonna set it for October 15th at 6:31 p.m.
Good. Do we have a motion?
Motion.
Do we have a second?
Second.
All in favor? All right. Next one is a resolution calling for the repeal of the HALT Act. I will read it quickly. We have passed these resolutions in the past. We will, if it is passed, we will send it along with a letter, to our state representatives in the governor's office. You've sent them in the past, is it you or Jody that usually sends them? Okay, so usually our clerk does. Whereas on March 31st, 2021, the governor signed into law S 2836, known as the Humane Alternatives to Long-Term Solitary Confinement Act, with an effective date of April 1st, 2022. The HALT Act limits segregated disciplinary confinement of inmates to the Special Housing Unit, SHU, or in a separate key block housing unit to a maximum of 15 consecutive days or 20 total days within any 60-day period. Under the HALT Act, these time limits may not be meaningfully extended, even where an inmate has committed such serious acts as attempted escape, physical or sexual assault on staff, and other inmates, or even homicide. Whereas assaults in New York State prisons have increased 124% over the last 10 years, reaching a record number of 1,173 assaults on staff in 2021. Whereas this HALT Act went into effect on April 1st, 2022, the number of daily assaults in New York State correctional facilities has gone up from 6.8 to 8.1 a day, an increase of 25%. Whereas the HALT Act essentially eliminates any meaningful disciplinary sanctions for inmates who commit violent acts. Whereas convicted murderers, career violent criminals, and other dangerous inmates already serving life sentences in particular now have virtually no disincentive to commit violent acts while incarcerated. Whereas by eliminating serious disciplinary sanctions for violent acts committed by inmates in New York State correctional facilities, the HALT Act has effectively incentivized such violent acts. Whereas the HALT Act thereby contributes to an increasingly violent environment within the New York State correctional facilities, thereby endangering the correctional officers, civilian staff, and inmates within such facilities. Whereas even prior to the enactment of the HALT Act, confinement to the SHU did not constitute true solitary confinement. It could only be imposed subject to significant procedural safeguards, including notice and a hearing. And whereas even prior to the enactment of the HALT Act, inmates confined to the SHU had access to outdoor recreation, personal visits, and commissary. Now therefore be it resolved in order that the Town of Salina Board calls upon the New York State Legislature and Governor to enact immediately legislation that repeals the HALT Act, restoring the prior inmate disciplinary framework which provided for meaningful disciplinary sanctions to deter violent conduct by inmates while also respecting inmates' procedural and personal rights. And be it further resolved that the town clerk is hereby directed to distribute a copy of this resolution to our elected officials in New York State, Senate, and Assembly. It is you that does it. That was a lot, and glad I got through it without messing the words up too much. If you were CNY Central just recently posted a article actually today, I believe it was, or yesterday, about the exorbitant increase of inmate on inmate crime. I sat down with Nyskova. They presented myself and roughly 10 other elected officials in Central New York area some pretty atrocious things that are occurring in the jail system ever since the HALT Act was passed. They provided statistics as was listed in the resolution, but they've also had more updated statistics where crime has continually gone up year over year in our criminal justice, in our jails. We do have corrections officers that do live in Salina as well. This is a problem, and one that I think they asked the town, they've asked other municipalities, but they asked the town if they would jump on with their fight against this and show support for them trying to make it safer and a safer environment for them. So I said yes, we put it on the agenda. Do we have any questions? I will be willing to make the motion for this. Is there a second?
Second.
Clerk, please call the roll.
Counselor Nels?
I'm gonna abstain.
Counselor Hall?
I'm abstaining as well.
Counselor Sismardo?
Yes.
Counselor Carney?
Yes.
Supervisor Farrell?
Yes, thank you. All right. We have some budget modifications. I am probably going to be asking, I think there's one specific budget modification that wants to be, I think the board wants to remove from the other ones. Daniel, just for your sake, there's one on here, the splash pad, it's a motion to return $400,000 budgeted for the splash pad to the general fund.
Yeah, because we didn't do it this year.
That's correct. Yep, all right, just wanted to make sure that we're on the same page with that. We can re-budget for that in the budget process. But I think we should make a motion quickly to remove the one, so that way you can vote on it separately, if you're okay with that. Is there a motion to remove the pool overtime, $600 for parks overtime, for the same amount of money, from the rest of the budget modifications to be voted on separately.
I'll make that motion.
Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor? Okay, alright, so first we're gonna vote on the 3 budget modifications of highway paving for Terminal Road, SDCA emergency veterinarian care, and the splash pad, as listed on the budget modification sheet. Do we have a motion?
Motion.
Do we have a second?
Second.
Clerk, please call the roll.
Counselor Jones?
Aye.
Counselor Paul?
Yes.
Counselor Cicarelli?
Yes.
Counselor Carney?
Yes.
Supervisor Curran?
Yes. Alright, there is a separate budget modification, for the transfer of $600 from pool overtime to parks overtime. The memo says an overtime request to cover emergency calls for Parks, Albert House, or responding to Sheriff's Department. Is there any questions, comment? Is there a motion that would like to be made on this?
So some of the comment that I got from the department head, I guess which kind of makes sense to me, is I don't know how else this is handled. I don't know if we have anybody else that does late night stuff in that aspect. I just don't know, I just don't have enough information personally to know.
Does Ed, we have our codes there, does that handle sheriff's calls?
Yes.
So we have a late night person who would handle this outside of the parks department that already gets paid.
Sounds like it.
He's capable, I'm not sure about the whole parts.
Yeah, but he is, yes.
He answers the nighttime calls, yes.
Got it.
Is there any other comments? Do we wanna make a motion on this? Okay, there is no motion. So there is no action taken on that specific budget modification. The next one is a motion to accept the Crest grant for $198,000 for electronics park pool repairs. Do we have any comments or discussion?
My comments are made.
What's required from the town of Salina in order to receive this grant? Are we putting any money up?
No.
We do have to have to front the money first.
Okay.
It's a reimbursable grant by the state. So the money does, but it's not unlike any other grant. I think almost every grant, specifically from the state, is funded primarily from the municipality first, refunded from the state later. There may have to be a transfer to pay for the grant writer, because we made the transfer the first time for the other one because we were out of money as well. But that is not on this today, so I'm not sure what that may be. If it is, I'm not sure. Any other questions? Any other discussion or comment?
Can,
What?
is it all right?
Unfortunately,
No.
yeah, no, I'm sorry. Yeah, that's at the beginning of the meeting.
Well,
I understand, I'm sorry.
I wouldn't have been prepared to comment without the information that I have now from the board meeting, so.
Okay. Alright, so no other comments from the board? Is there a motion? Is there a second?
Second.
Clerk, please call the roll.
Counselor Jones?
Aye.
Counselor Paul?
Yes.
Counselor Cicarelli?
Due to not having enough information, no.
Counselor Carney?
Yes. Yes.
Supervisor Curran?
Yes. Alright, approve the appointment of Gerard Finn to the position of crossing guard effective September 30th, 2024, at a pay rate of $25 per day. This is to fill a position that's,
I mean, we need a sub too, but the one girl's right now, I just have one.
you said this doesn't change anything for the budget.
It
though.
changes nothing for the budget.
Okay.
One person's off, the other person's on.
Those were the exact words that came out of her mouth when she came to me about it. She said, doesn't change anything, we're just swapping this. So, do we have a motion to approve this appointment? Do we have a second?
Second.
Clerk, please call the roll.
Counselor Jones?
Aye.
Counselor Paul?
Yes.
Counselor Cicarelli?
Yes.
Counselor Carney?
Yes.
Supervisor Curran?
Yes. The next is a motion for the cleanup orders as listed on the agenda. Do we have a motion? Do we have a second?
Second.
Clerk, please call the roll.
Counselor Jones?
Aye.
Counselor Paul?
Yes.
Counselor Cicarelli?
Yes.
Counselor Carney?
Yes.
Supervisor Curran?
Yes. The next item is the presentation of budget. You guys have that.
Just thank you, Nina.
Yes, thank you to Nina.
I will make sure she gets the message. You guys are gonna be seeing her soon. She will be at every single budget meeting, so you guys will be able to utilize her as a resource and tell her thank you as well. She was prepared to come tonight. Keep her in your thoughts. She lost her cat over the weekend. So, and I told her that it's okay that she doesn't come, because we're just presenting this to us, so. We do need to go into executive session before we get to the last item on the agenda, so we need to, do we have a motion to enter executive session for personnel?
Yeah, personnel, labor relations matters, yeah.
Do we have a motion?
Motion.
Do we have a second?
Second.
All in favor? It's my goal that we come out quickly.
So that means stay Denise.
The Bills play 7:15. Go Bills. I don't know how long it'll take, but there is going to be action taken after the meeting.
Second, and then.
Yeah, there will be action taken after the meeting.